Okay, then I can see you guys now. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Ranganu, Ravi, Yajat, Barkov, Srikant Reddy. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I hope all of you are good and excited. And again, welcome to day 3 of this HTML and CSS Essentials. Okay, Kiranjit is having some doubt, so we'll answer that as well. I have a question. When I type codes in VS Code, why these codes were showing in the web page and nothing I put will be able to change? I think Kiranjot, one thing I can think in that particular thing is um, you have the extension might be incorrect. Check if your extension is .html or .htm, because otherwise any HTML file in browser will definitely show the output. So first of all, check if your extension is correct, and second, check if you have by mistake you might have put everything in double quotes. So also check that as well. Okay, can you guys hear me or not? Am I audible? Sound. Fahad is asking about sound. Am I audible, guys? Please confirm me once. Am I audible? Please tell me. Am I audible? What is keyboard shortcut in VS Code to make comment? It's control slash. Branesh, it's control slash. Okay, that's great, guys. So again, everyone, good evening once again, and welcome to day 3 of this HTML and CSS Essentials. And first of all, happy Ganesh Chaturthi to everyone. I hope all of you are good and enjoying the day today. And again, really good thing, a 1 hour lecture of HTML and CSS. Let's go. I hope all of you are excited, because today we are going to be talking about a lot of detailing. We're going to be talking about box model. We are going to be talking about flex boxing if we have time. Otherwise, we'll shift flex boxing to tomorrow. So no issues. Let's move ahead and let's start with some more CSS. Now, see, yesterday we learned all the basics of CSS, right? Like what exactly is a class, what exactly is an ID, what is selector, how does CSS work, right? All that stuff. Inline, what is inline CSS, what is internal CSS, what is external CSS. We saw all that. We saw how to apply CSS and what CSS is. I hope you guys have understood that, because today we'll dive a little more deeper and we'll try to understand more concepts of CSS, so that on the 5th day we are able to make a really, really cool looking project. Okay, so let's go, guys. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some new pages today, first of all. Okay, so let me call this as day3.html. Okay, and I'll be also creating one more CSS file, because I'm going to be using external CSS. Pic is not clear. Okay, I can see. I'm also watching it on YouTube, guys. Please see if your internet connection is fine, and also please just increase the video quality. So if there is some issue in the video quality of YouTube, just go ahead in the settings of YouTube and increase the video quality. Sometimes it happens due to internet fluctuation. So just go in your video settings of YouTube and just increase the video quality. That's it. Okay, let's go, guys. So I have a HTML file here. I'm also going to create one more file with the same name. It's completely fine, day 3. But now the extension will be .css. Okay. Now the first thing we'll do is we'll generate some HTML. Okay. I'm generating it at the wrong place. Generate some HTML, and let me remove these meta tags. We don't need them. Okay. Cool. Perfect. And let's just write box model. Okay. Cool. And let's link the CSS file as well. So link. What am I doing? Wait, guys, let me just check a message I got. Okay, that's cool. Perfect. So link relation, again, it will be style sheet, and href will be our day3.css. Okay, cool. Confirm it if it is linked or not. Create a simple p tag. Just write some hello in there. Okay, let's run this file. So again, copy the path. Let me take a browser window for you. Here we go. Paste it. You can see that hello over there. Simple. And now let's just check if our CSS is working, if it is perfectly linked. So P, put a color of red just to confirm if all the connection is working and we have not made any mistake. So let's go in the browser now. And here we go. It's turning red. That means our CSS is working perfectly fine. Explain rel link. Okay, roll number Abhishek Sharma. I would first of all tell you to watch yesterday's session. You'll understand what that REL is. And again, if you just want to know, that rel stands for relationship. So in link tag, you have to specify whatever file you're linking, what is your HTML file's relation with that file. So right now, what is the relationship between this HTML file and the CSS file you're trying to link? It is that the CSS file is the style sheet. So basically that tells HTML how to treat it. Just like that, when you attach an icon to it, you have to give relation icon so that your HTML file can understand what kind of file it is and how to treat it. So that's why REL is very important. Why we use viewport attribute in meta tag? So there are a lot of attributes of meta tag. So viewport was viewport an attribute? Definitely you saw that. Okay. So basically I'll tell you what if it is there, why do we have that viewport attribute. So not every meta tag will have viewport attribute. Only the meta tag that we use for responsiveness purposes, to tell the web page how to behave on different screen sizes, we have to give that viewport attribute. Okay. And for all the people asking what is meta tag, what is link, what is relation, I would suggest you guys to watch yesterday's session, please. So yesterday we did CSS introduction, that was day 2 of this course. So please go and watch that, you will understand all of that stuff. Okay. So guys, let's move ahead and let's talk about few things. And for that stuff, I need to open a site. Okay, so let's again open one of our famous sites, that is flipkart.com. Now see, guys, till now we have learned that we have a lot of different content, right? HTML is nothing but a language that helps you to create web page and put content on it. And when I said content, we only talked about text, images, right? And then input fields, all of that stuff. But one thing that we missed was this. See, now we know we can create images using HTML, we can put text using HTML, right? We can create buttons using HTML. But what about this blue bar? What is that? What about this white bar? What is that? Or let's say when I go to something like apple.com, what about this black bar on top? What about this black bar here? How is my sections properly divided? How is this area is having a different color and this area is having a different color, right? How is my website divided like this, right? So that's one more thing. How, what are these elements? Because I know about images, I know about text, I know about buttons, I know about input field. What are these things that are creating these boxes? So guys, in web designing or in HTML and CSS, you also have one more important form of elements which help you to create layouts, or you can say divide your page into sections. Okay. And those are what you call as, now those are also elements, they are either called as containers or boxes. So these are the elements that we have not talked about yet. So again, today we're going to be talking about this as well. Exactly, Ajay, exactly, Pritesh, correct. So guys, these containers or boxes are very important form of elements on our websites, because you can see without them we'll be unable to perform layouting the way it is. Right now you can see how these things are properly dividing my page into different sections. I can give them different colors and I can arrange my text or images accordingly, and at the end it all looks good. So this blue bar, this white bar, this whole thing is also a box. This whole thing you can see, right? It's also a box. Everything here is a box. Everything, sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't see it, but at the end everything is arranged via boxes, and those boxes help you to perform layouting of your site. Those boxes help you to rearrange your elements. Those boxes help you to carry your elements so that you can move things here and there easily. Okay, so let's see how to create those boxes today. And for that, guys, you have few tags. For that, to create those boxes, you have few tags. Let me mention all those few tags first for you. So now there are a lot of different tags, but one of the most famous tags is this, something called as a div, which basically stands for a division. It is one of the most famous box creating tags or a container creating tag. First of all, let's see what is the output of this. If I just create a div, do we have any output? You can see there's nothing, because by default a box will is nothing, because a box should have a height, a box should have a width, and right now I've got nothing. So again, we're going to be using CSS to give this box its height and width. And for that, I can just give it a class like anything. Let's say 1. And now let's apply some CSS. So remove this one and then dot 1. Let's give it a height of 200 pixels. Let's give it a width of 200 pixels. And let's give it a background color of red. And now let's see. And here we go. Don't worry, it is zoomed. So it normally, this is the size. Simple plain box that does nothing right now. about 200 and 200 pixels. Is it clear, everyone? So that's it. That's how you create box. Now I can give it any width, any height I want. For example, I can give a width of 1200. It will go like this. That's how these blue bar, this white box, and all of that, this section here, this black area, this black bar, all of them are created using this box element. But div is not the only tag that can help you to create boxes. There are very like so many tags. For example, there is also a tag called header, which also does the same thing. By default, it does nothing. But again, as it's a container creating tag or a box creating tag, I can again just go ahead and give it a class. Okay, and I can just come here and put dot two. Same thing, I can just go height 300 pixels, width 300 pixels, and background color, let's say I put green. I'll see. Here we go. Doing the same thing, box, right? Now, just like that, there are so many tags. You have header, you have a section tag, which again creates a box. You have a footer tag, which again creates a box. You have, let's say, a main tag, which again creates a box. So there are so many tags, guys. Now you might ask a question: if all of them are creating boxes, why do we have different name for all of them? Now, guys, this is not all. There are few more. There is also something called as a side. There are few more tags again for boxes only. So now the question is, why do we have so many different tag names just to create a box? Because all of them are going to create the same thing output wise. So guys, the difference is, see, it is mainly for naming convention, so that your website or your coding is more readable, so that your sections are more understandable. For example, what the semantics say is, now, whenever you're creating this, a header for your site, like this, a header, go for the header tag. When you're creating a footer box, like for example, something like for this or for this, use the footer tag. For your middle area, you can go for a main tag because that's your main part of the site. So that's what you call as a semantic for the naming convention, so that your site is more readable. When you create a section like this is, let's say, the movie section. This is, let's say, new product section, right? This is, let's say, iPhone 13 section. So for these, to divide your site into different sections, use a section tag. And wherever you need a tag or a box which does not like mean anything, it's just a random box, you can go for a div. Now previously there was only div. Now these things are very new. They came in HTML5, all these different tags. But guys, at the end, output wise, they all create the same thing. But it's the semantic that we have to follow. It's the, what do you say, naming convention. It's a good rule. Why all these things are important? So that your website performs good on the browsers, so that your search engines can easily understand your web page. They can easily understand which one is a meaningful section, which one is a not meaningful div, what is your header, what is your footer. Because previously we used to only use div for everything, so the search engines were not understanding which div is a header, which div is a footer. For them it was a little tough to understand, and that's where these semantics come from. So now we have tags for different things, but guys, understand, output wise, they all create the same thing. They can be handled in the same way. It's just the tag names are different depending on your use. Is that clear, everyone? Hopefully, all of them are same at the end. Now, if you want, you can create your complete site by using just divs. You can create a complete site by just using sections. But again, it's just we follow semantics. We follow the rules. That's all. Exactly, Paul. Exactly. While troubleshooting and editing, it will be much more easier to handle your code. Exactly. So all clear, guys? Okay, so whatever I can do with div, understand that you can do it with header, you can do with section, you can do with footer, but just follow the proper approach and use them properly. Okay, so now then, let's move ahead. Now we know how to create a box. Very simple. Use any tag and simply give it height, width, and some background color, and you can see it. Perfect. Now then, let's move ahead, guys. And yes, good evening, Naveen. Welcome, buddy. Okay, so now, guys, let's move ahead. Now, this was how you create a box. Very simple. Height, width. But when you come to CSS or when you are on web, there is also one more very important concept that a lot of time people find tough. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about right now. Sir, what if we use Bootstrap? Even if you use Bootstrap, this CSS will not change, right, Akshay? Because at the end, Bootstrap is nothing but CSS. Bootstrap is nothing but CSS at the end. So nothing will change. All of the things will be still same. Bootstrap is some CSS which is manipulating the HTML. That's all. Okay. So now, so those concepts will be still there. Okay. So guys, let's go ahead. And now let's talk about one really important concept, that is box model. Okay. We are not the one who works on any site of lifetime. Easy for other developer. Yes, exactly. Kind of, Jasprit. We can say that. Okay, so now guys, the next concept that we are learning today is box model. So now first of all, what exactly is box model? So guys, see, in simple terms, box model basically means how a element, any element, not only this div or the elements that look like boxes. Okay, any element, any HTML element, a table, a form, a p tag, a h1, anything. Okay, first of all, box model simply defines how a element takes up size on the web page. That's what box model defines. Second thing is, always think that whatever element you create is wrapped inside a box. May it be h1, it might be a p tag, it can be anything. Every element that you create, every tag that you use, every element that you create has a box around it. Okay, and box model is nothing but the way that box behaves and the way that box takes up size on the web page. That's what box model says. That's it. And we'll see now how to do it, how to use this box model, and what are the different properties. That's it. Is that clear, everyone? That's all what box model is. How a element takes up size on the web page. And remember guys, by using div and section, you're creating a box. But when you use h1 or p, you're not creating a box. But understand, guys, it is still a box. Everything is wrapped inside a box. Let me show you that as well before we move ahead. For example, for all the new guys, a lot of old people might be knowing this. A lot of people who are experienced, they might be knowing it. But let me show you. Let's say I put an h1 and I just put hello. Okay, just to give you a simple example, class of, let's say, heading, something like that. Let's apply some CSS to it. Dot heading. We give it a height of 20 pixels. No need to give height for now. Let me just give a color of yellow. Wrong place. You can see it here, right? I give it a very bad color. That's so bad of me. Let me just put dark slate gray, something like that. There we go. You can see that hello, right? Now what if I give it a background color? Let me see. Background color yellow green. See that, everyone? Initially, when I created the H1, there was nothing like box. But when I give a background color to H1, you saw that it's actually a box at the end. Even do it with a P. So what I'm trying to say is every element that you create is wrapped inside a box. And how that box behaves is what the concept of box model. How that box takes up size on your web page. How you arrange that box. That all is the part of the box model in CSS. Is that clear, guys? So 2 points. First is every element that you create is wrapped inside a box for sure. Okay. Second thing, box model is nothing but how that box takes up the size on the web page. That's the concept. And today we're going to be talking about that. How an element. Now, when we create div and section, we see those boxes. But when we create H1P, we don't see those boxes, but they are still there. You can see that, right? Even if I create a P, you'll see it is still there. Let me just put a P and just something like hello paragraph, something like that. Let me apply some CSS so that you can see it. So let me just put P, color of red, and background color of, let's say, yellow. You'll still see it. See that? It's also having a box. You got it, guys? Everyone? So never forget this. That's all. Now then, let's go ahead and talk about how an element takes up size on the web page. That basically means we're going to be talking about the box model. We're going to be talking about box model. So let's go. Div class 1. Let's apply some CSS to it because this is one box that I can perfectly see, right? So that's why. Because this is one box I give height and width to. So height of 300 pixel. Guys, please focus, everyone. Width of 300 pixel. And background color of red for now. You understand these 3 to 4 things that I'm going to do right now, you can say that you're cleared with around 20-30% of CSS, because this is where people think that CSS is tough. Okay, so if you just focus on the next 10 minutes, you'll understand around 20 to 30% CSS on the spot. Okay, perfect. Let's go now. So I have a simple div. It's having a height of 300, width of 300, and background color of red. You can see that. Now let me also put some content in it for now. So let me just put like let's upgrade, and you can see the content starts from start. See that, everyone? Let me just put okay, that's fine. Let me just give it a font size of 30 pixel. See that, guys? You can see the text, right? It is starting from start, perfectly fine. Perfect. Now then, let's move ahead. Now there is one property of the box model that we should learn, that is what you call as padding. As I said, guys, box model is nothing but how an element takes up size on the web page. By default, every element takes whatever you give as height and width, but there are a few more factors to it on how an element takes up size, and one of the factors is what you call as padding. Okay, so guys, what is padding? First of all, padding is nothing but an extra fake size on top of the element. Padding is nothing but extra fake size on top of height and width. Right now, this element is having 300 pixel height, 300 pixel width. Now, let me show you. If I give padding of 50 pixel, see that now, the element has grown. But now, to check it perfectly, right click on it, click on inspect. Okay, let me move it to the side. And here, just go down in the CSS section and check this out. Check this out. This is your box models view. You can see right now, this blue area is what your actual height and width is, 300 by 300. You can see that let's upgrade text in between there. But whatever is on the top, that red extra part, that is what you call as padding, an extra fake size on top of the element. So this is one more thing that contributes to the size of an element. Just that's it. That's all what padding is. Extra fake size on top of the element. But padding is not the only thing that gives an extra size or that takes up size. There is one more thing called as border. So I can give border of 30 pixel, and border can have a type. So I'm going to give a solid type, that is nothing but a simple plain border, and you can give it any color. Now that's the difference. To padding, you cannot give a different color. It will always be the same color as your element, but to border, you can give a different color. So I can simply give solid, let's say black. Padding is the space between element content and the border. You can say that, why not? But you can also call it a fake size, because in real world, padding means fake size, right? So you can also call it an extra size. You can also consider it space. At the end, it's the same thing. Okay. Audio or inline elements, so they are come under. Yes, everything comes under box model, Suraj, because at the end, everything is a box, right? So everything is inside a box. Just give background color and see. Everything will be inside a box at some point. So now, guys, see that. Here we go. You can see, right? Just come here and see. This is again your normal size, 300 by 300. This 50 is extra padding, and this 30 is extra border. Now, all of them are taking up size, but the real size is only this much, 300 by 300. That is your content area. Remember, guys, your height and width is your only content area. You cannot put content in the border. You cannot put content in the padding part. They are just extra sizes that take up some space. Your content area is what your height and width is. Is that clear, guys? Okay. And finally, you have one more thing you can see here. That is what you call as margin, which also again takes up space. But again, understand, guys, margin is just like padding. It's also extra fake size, but the only difference is margin is always invisible. Margin is always invisible. So now if I give a margin of 30 pixel, that means I'm adding 30 pixel size on top of my element, but we cannot see it because it's invisible. So here we go. We actually saw that it moved, but it's actually not moving. We added a 30 pixel margin on top of it. You can see that on the top, on the left, on the bottom. Can you guys see that? It's invisible. That's why we think that it's moving, but it's not moving. It's just an extra size added on top. So your actual height width, your padding, your border, and your margin. Is that cleared? Someone is asking, can we mark? Can yes, Ayush, that's one way of thinking it, but don't think it like that because margin is an extra size. We don't think of it like a space or we don't think of it like a movement. We can use it for that purpose. We can use it to create space. We can use it to move the element, but it's actually not correct because the correct thing is margin is an extra size. Is that cleared? Okay, I can you talk about? Yes, yes, we'll talk about that. So, guys, these are few elements. Now, there is one more thing that comes under top of margin, actually comes on top of margin, but that we'll talk about later when we learn positions. But is that cleared, everyone? Understood what these things are? So padding and margin are nothing but extra sizes. Padding is always exactly same as your elements color. Margin is always invisible, and border you can give color to it. But this padding, border, margin, all are nothing but extra sizes on top of your real height and width. And this constitutes the box model. Is that clear, everyone? That's what box model is. As I said, box model is nothing but a concept of how an element takes up size and space on your web page. And that's how my div is taking size. And now, guys, as I said, everything is wrapped inside a box. Let me show you. If I create a P here, okay, and let's say I give it a class of para. Let's put some content. So hello para, something like that. Save it. And now let's apply some CSS to it. So dot para width, not width for now. Let's just give me, let's just give it color of green and background color of yellow. Now see that, guys? See, I didn't create this box. I didn't create this box. I hope you can see that. Let me just move my browser here. I hope you can see it, everyone. I didn't create this box, but it's still there. Because as I said, every element is wrapped inside a box. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. To see it, just give a background color, you can see it. And now if you right click on this element and again perform inspect, you can see it's also having its own box model. And you can see by default, your P is having margin. It's having a default margin. So yes, some elements also can have default margin. It's not having any padding. It's not having any border, but it's having a margin. So some elements by default can also have a margin. Is that clear, guys? Everyone, every element is inside a box. Every element in HTML is inside a box. And how that box takes up space and size on the web page on your browser, that's what box model is. And there are a few properties that you can use to work with that box model. Again, guys, box model is nothing but how it takes up size. That's it. It sounds very tricky, box model, but at the end, guys, how the box or how the element takes the size, that's what box model is. And the properties, what do you say, impacting that thing is height and width, padding, margin, and border. Is that cleared, everyone? It's better to use flexbox, yes, Gaurav, but again, flexbox comes after this, right? Because if we don't know this, we'll never understand flexbox. Now sometimes we can understand because it doesn't require all these properties, but at the end, flexbox also is working with these properties. So yep, it's important. Is it clear, guys? Because this is basic CSS. This is where everything is. Everything grid, flexbox, all of this is developed around this. This is the main thing. Okay. What is better, flexbox or grid? I see now again here. I'll just be little. What do you say? I'll give you my personal opinion. I like flexbox a lot. I use both. Sometimes I also use grid, but in a lot of cases, flexbox is better for me. Yes, Suraj. Border means that only. Yes. Okay. Sir, when to use padding and margin? Like, how do we know? Don't worry, I'll show you how to use them. Don't worry. Now, guys, let's talk about two, two last things here. Okay, so please focus. Let me come back to this, our red element. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me? Come on, you guys tell me what is the complete height of this element, including everything. I ask this question every time, but I have never seen everyone give me the correct answer. So I'm hoping this time I'll get the complete correct answer. Okay. So everyone, come on, tell me. What is the complete height? Complete height. As I'm saying, Barak, complete height. Please tell me the complete height of this element. Complete. Including the fake sizes. Including the fake sizes. Come on. 300 is the actual height, right? I'm asking about complete height. Complete height. 520. Let me see. 350 plus 30 plus 30, that is 110. Okay, again 110 at the bottom. So basically 220. Exactly. 520. Correct. All the people saying 520 are correct. All they were saying 410 are basically considering only one side, the top side, not the bottom side. It's 30 plus 30 plus 50, that is 110, plus 300, that is basically what? Around, I think, 410. And then 50 plus 30 plus 30, that is 520. Exactly. So the complete height of this element is 520. And same with goes with the width, because it's similar, right? So is it clear, everyone? Don't only count the top part. All the people saying 410, don't only count the top part, also count the bottom. Okay. So guys, that's how it works. Now, one really important thing to understand here is one very important property, that is something called as box sizing. Now see, it has two values, content box and border box. By default, it is content box. Now let me show you that. You can see it's still same. Nothing happened to this, right? You can see nothing happened, because content box means everything will be considered normally. Your padding is still an extra size, your border is still an extra size, your margin is still an extra size, and your normal height and width is normal. Now there is another property called as border box. Now here we go. Here comes the change. See that now? Something got reduced. So now what happens is, whenever you give box sizing border box, at that time your padding and border are considered as part of the height and width. So for example, if your height is 300 and if you give padding of 50 and border of 30, that is total 80 extra size, that 80 will be considered as part of your height. And to make it considered inside the given 300 pixels, it will reduce the size. You can see you have given height of 300, but here it is coming as 140. Why? Because 160 is coming from padding and border. So basically the browser reduced the height of your div so that it can fit the padding and border extra sizes in your given value of height. You gave it a value of 300, so I'll keep it 300, but I want to include the extra padding and border in that 300. So technically I'll reduce your height. So top padding, top border 80, bottom padding, bottom border 80, 80, 80 is 160. So 160 is extra, and total height you have is 300. So if I want to adjust this 160 into that 300, I have to make sure that I reduce the 300 to 140. And not only for height, guys, I'm just giving you an example of height, also for width. See that? Is that cleared, everyone? Guys, please tell me. So that's what box sizing border box is. It will consider the border and the padding as part of your height and width. So it will reduce whatever height and width you have given so that it can match the value of height by also including this. Is it clear, guys? So that's what box sizing border box is. And right now, you might not see it, but it's a very important stuff. It's actually very important. Okay? Because in future, you'll be understanding how to use it. It's very useful. It's very useful. Right now, you might see like, okay, what is the use of this? Why am I going to make my element like this? You'll understand it in future. Don't worry. What was the name of a second one? Content box. Content box and border. Content box is default, that is normal, and then border box. It's a little tricky, guys. I know it's a little tricky in the start, but once you start using it, it will become simple, very simple. Okay. Please again, okay. Let me just do it for everyone once again. Let me just open Jamboard because I can draw it so that you can understand it better. See, let's say the size of the element is 300 initially. Okay, 300. Perfect. The size. I'm only considering height. Just think of it as width as well. I'm only teaching you for height, but for width also it works the same. So initially this is 300. Now I say padding of 20 pixel. So 20 is added on top, 20 is added on bottom. Correct? I also say border 10 pixel. So 10 added on top and 10 added at bottom. So 20, 10, 20, 10. So 30 on top, 30 at bottom. Correct? Cleared, guys? 30 on top, 30 at bottom. That means 60. And 60 plus 300 is 360. That means right now the total height is 360, in which 300 is your actual height and 60 is extra. Correct. 60 is considered extra. Now, when I say box sizing border box, at that time, now your element will consider this extra 60 as part of your 300. But now, can you consider that extra 60 as part of your 300? No, because if you say 300 and 60, it is always 360. So if I want that 60 to be included in the value of 300 that I've given, I have to reduce the height from 300 to 240 so that I can add those extra 60 and still keep it 300. So when you give box sizing border box, it tries to retain the height what you have given, but also by adding padding and border. So if I'm adding padding and border and I still want to retain the actual height that was given, I have to reduce the height internally. Exactly. Is it clear, guys? Exactly. You can say the height is overridden. Yes, Pritish. Yes. So that we can add. So I want to still keep it 300 as the retention value, whatever you have given. But I still want to include this padding and border. So I have to reduce it internally. I have to reduce the height internally, and same goes for width as well. Okay. Hopefully it is cool now, understandable. So see, you can still see it is still 300. Height is still 300 because 140 plus 50 plus 30 and plus again below 40 and 30, it's 300. But the height has been reduced to 140 so that this 50 plus 30 and 50 plus 30 can go in. Okay. Perfect. Amazing. So guys, that's it. That's what box model is. That's how a box works. And as I told you guys, everything is a box. A P, an H1, anything that you create, everything is basically having a box. Content box is by default. So it basically does nothing. If you give it, you can see that. It's the default value of box sizing. So if I just give content box, you can see it's still same. 300, 300, 50, 30, 30. It's the default one. Is it cleared? Guys, clear with it? How does outline fit? Outline is different, right? Time flows. Outline is something that is highlighted when you click on that element or when you go to that element. So outline is a way of highlighting rather than sizing. Outline is a way of highlighting. It's not considered as part of the sizing. It's considered as part of the highlighting because it's never displayed by default. Only when you go to that element or when you want to highlight that element, then only outline works. Okay. So that's great, guys. Now then, let's move ahead. Let's move ahead to the next concept. It is very, very important again. I hope the box model is cleared. Now I can create n number of elements. Let me show you actually a few things. Let me show you. Let me show you a few things as well. Guys, please focus, everyone. Let me first of all zoom it out. It's too big. Okay. Now let me remove this completely. And let me also remove this completely. And let's go, guys. We're gonna be talking about few more stuff before we move ahead to the next topic. So let me create a div here. And let me give it a class of 1. And let me create one more div here and let me give it a class of 2, something like that. Okay. Now then, dot 1, I want you to have a height of 100 pixel and a width of 100 pixel. Cool. And also a background color of red. And again, to the second div, I want you to have a height of 100 pixel again, width of 100 pixel again, and background color of, let's say, green, something like that. Okay. Flexbox and flex. Flexbox is the concept. Flex is a property. So both are related basically. Flex is basically the property, the value that you use. Flexbox is the name of the concept. It's basically the parent, what we call as flexbox. Okay, guys, you can see I have two divs. One is red and one is green. You can see that. But now, here we go. We have a problem here. I can see that after the red element, there is a lot of space left. You can see that. After the red element, there is a lot of space left. So why this green element is still coming to the bottom? Why it's not going to the side? Why it is still coming to the bottom? That is one concern. Even if I have this much area, that's because, guys, there are few types, there are few categories in which your elements are belong, in which your elements belong basically. Okay. So mainly there are two categories. Mainly there are two categories in which your element belongs. The main two categories are, what you call as block elements and inline elements. And div is something what you call as the block element. Div is a block element, or div comes under the block category. And block elements will by default always go one below each other no matter what is their size. Even your h1 is a block element, and you can see if I put a h1 and hello, it goes to the bottom, not to the side, even if there is a space. Even your p is a block element. You can see that it is going to the bottom, not to the side. So block elements will always go in this fashion. So your div, your section, all the container elements, main, all of that, this h1, this p are called as, they fall under the category of block elements, or you can also call them block elements or block level elements, whatever you would like to call them. Block elements will by default behave like this. Second is what you say as the inline elements. Now, inline elements work opposite. They will always go in the horizontal direction until and unless the screen ends. Then they will come to the bottom. That's how basically your inline element works. But there is a problem with inline element, that inline elements cannot have height and width. Inline elements cannot have height and width. Okay. So see, now these are block elements. So if I convert them to inline, maybe they will go in horizontal fashion. So is there a way of converting it? Is there a way of converting it? Yes. There is one property called as display, which can help you to convert that element. So by default, div is block. I can say, okay, fine. I want you to get converted to inline, please. Same with this. I also want you to get converted to inline so that you guys go side by side, because I want you to become inline elements. Now let's see. They are converted to inline elements, guys. But the problem, as I said, what did I say, guys? Inline elements cannot have height and width. So whatever height and width you have given, it all becomes zero, because inline elements cannot have height and width. Block elements can have height and width, but they don't go inline. So what if I want to do something? What if I want them to have height and width, but I still want them to go inline, horizontal? So for that, guys, you have a hybrid type, that is something called as inline block, which says I'll be a block element. That means I can have height and width, but also behave like inline. So I'll go in horizontal fashion rather than going in vertical fashion. So here we go. I say both of them to become an inline block element. And here we go. See that, guys? Now they still have their height and width and they go side by side. I can do the same for H1. I can say you also become an inline block element, please. I can tell it to the P as well. And same, display inline block. And now, can you see that? Everyone is simply going side by side because they are all inline block elements. Is it clear, guys? Everyone, please tell me. So, block elements will always go in vertical direction, no matter what do you say, any space is left. As you said, always with a new line, always in a new line. Inline elements will always go in horizontal direction, but they cannot have height and width. So if I want my elements to go in horizontal direction but still have height and width, for that I need something called as inline block. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, one height 300 pixel, width 300 pixel, background color red, dot header. Have you given a header class, Siddharth? Have you given a header class? Okay. Yes. Now, a lot of people actually say, like, what is this space? Right? What is this space? Like, why do we have this space even if I have not given it? So, guys, let me tell you first of all why we have that space. Inline block, surely grid and flexbox can handle this. Yes, Naveen, exactly. But see, this is what you say the core property. Flex, grid are all the new ones. This is how CSS behaves at the core, right? So that's why we are learning this, so that we can, now tomorrow we'll go back to flexbox again. We'll see how flexbox is much more better than inline block, but that's how CSS works at core. Okay. And yes, flex obviously better than using inline block, but again we still have to learn this so to understand the box model properly. Okay. Which element does not support height and width? Inline elements like span. Span does not support height and width. Span is an inline element. Okay, now guys, one really important thing. Why do we get this space in between our elements whenever, what do you say, we give inline block? Why do we have that? So guys, understand, whenever you give inline block, your elements are treated like text. Your elements are treated like text, where the browser considers, or the web page considers, every element as a word. And just like normally there's a gap between every word, it creates a gap here as well. See that? See that, guys? That's why you have that gap. Now, there are a lot of ways of reducing it. You can use margin. You can give font size 0 so that the text becomes 0 and that gap is removed. There are multiple ways of doing it, but we don't have to worry about it, because tomorrow we're going to be talking about flex boxing, and there it is much more easier. I just wanted to tell you why that gap occurs, so that in future, if in any interview they ask you why do we have that gap, you'll be able to answer it. Removing it is a lot of ways. I can give, what do you say, body is their parent, right? So I can just give body. See that? I can say font size 0. So that gap will be gone. But the text is also gone because it is getting font size 0. So I can go here and give them different font size, like font size 30 pixel. That's why we normally don't use font size 0, because otherwise I have to give font size separately to all the text. See that? So that gap is gone now. The gap is simply gone because I gave font size 0 to their parent, because they were getting treated like words. So whenever you give display inline block, all the elements get treated like words. And when something gets treated like words or sentence, there's always a gap between the words. That's why we were having that thing. Is that clear? And yes, margin 0 will not affect it, Utpal. No. You have to give negative margin to remove that. Because actually it's not margin. It's a word gap. Correct? Yes, so do something related to the word. So that's one way of doing it. Is that cleared, everyone? Okay. Hopefully you can try it. Words. I normally don't use this nowadays, like this inline block, but I can try this word spacing. Will this work? Let me see. Let's see that. Nope. Word spacing is not doing it for us. Nope. Let me see if I just give it to any element and it will work. Nope. I think word spacing is for the space between that word, right? Not between two words, maybe. So, yep. Yes, it's natural. It's natural. Exactly. It's natural. We have to remove it. It's natural. It occurs naturally. We are the ones removing it. Okay. Who is Sundar Pichai? I think CEO of Alphabet, maybe. Okay. So, guys, let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Okay, everyone. We're almost there. Like, we are almost at time. I can see some people asking how to create a button. Let me just show you that as well. To create a button, Dhalwai, you just have to use a button tag. That's it. So just put a button tag and just put hello on it, or whatever text you want. And here you go. Now, button which is clickable. Simple. Okay. And yes, there are various types of button. So you have type submit, which is basically used to submit a form. You have type button, which basically does nothing. It's a simple button. And you also have type reset, which is used to clear a form. Okay. Right now it will do nothing because we don't have form. But yeah, that's how you create a button. Okay. Please try letter searching. Okay, let me try that as well. Let me try that. Letter spacing 0. Nope. It also doesn't work. So you have to use, we normally use, I use font size 0. Now wait, I used to use it like 4 or 5 years back when I didn't know Flexbox. Now I know Flexbox. Now I know grid. So I never use it. I never have to go with it. It's very easy for me just to use Flexbox rather than this. But these properties are very important to understand before you move ahead to Flexbox, so that you can understand what is margin, what is padding, and all that stuff, right? Okay, can we use anchor as a button in any? Yes, why not? So you can wrap a button around an anchor so that you can make it a link. Why not? Completely fine. You can make the button child of your anchor. Okay. And guys, please, if you're liking the session, if you're enjoying the session, please also like the video. I hope you guys have understood this complete box model, because that is one of the most asked interview questions if you go for CSS. Okay, so you can just do this. Who was asking this question? I think who was asking this question? Let me see the chat. Yes, Israr. So that's how you can use it. Just put a button inside a tag. Now you can connect this a tag wherever you want. So now when someone clicks on a button, you will go there simply. We will make div as button as well. Yeah, why not? It's CSS. You can literally do anything. You can make a button behave like a div. It will not completely behave like a div, but you can make it look like that. And you can also make a button. You can also make a div behave like a button. It's up to us. Is that clear? Yes, Utpal, that's correct. If you want to place, so it's not like about images only. If you want to place anything in a grid fashion, grid is always the best. Okay. Okay. Now, guys, how can we add a div or span or icon on in an input attribute? Actually, we don't add it in the input attribute. It's just an illusion. It is just an illusion. We actually create a div. Inside that we create an input, and also we create an image or whatever you want. It's a button, it can be div, and you make sure that your input border is removed and your buttons border is removed so that they look like same. That's it. Very simple. For example, let me show you, guys. Wait, let me show this to you guys. Let me create an input. Don't need the slash. Type text. Guys, please focus. I'm showing you guys something. Please focus. So first of all, I create a div around it. Okay, I create a div around it. Let's give this a class of, what do you say, anything. For example, INP, something like that. Now you can just do dot INP, width of 300 pixels and a height of 40 pixels. Okay, and a background color of red, let's say. See that? I hope you can see that. Okay, now this input, I'm going to give it some height and width. So input tag, I give it a height of same 40 pixel as in that input, and I give it a width of around, let's say, 250 pixels, like that. Okay, and now I want to remove the border of this input. So let's do that. So border none. Okay, now you can see an outline is still there. So I also want to remove this outline. Outline none. Okay, perfect. For now, let me just give the border because I want to see that, because without that you can't even see it. Okay, so here we go. The border is here, perfectly fine. Let me see one more thing. Okay, it's having a padding. This input is having a, so you can see that, right? This input is having a little padding. So I want to remove that padding. Padding 0. Is that padding gone? Let's confirm that. Yes, and it's also having a border of 2. I want to remove it, but I'll remove it afterwards. Now you can see there is some space left here, right? There's some space left here. So what you can do now is, in that space, you can simply create a button like this. And you can put any image inside this button. So let's say img src. Let's go on to any site and take some image from there. So let's say search icon, search png icon. It can be any image. It's completely your choice. I'm just putting a search icon here. So let's take this one. Right click, copy image address. I'm not downloading it. I'm directly using the link of that image. And see that it's too big. Don't worry, we'll have to arrange it. So let's give this button a class. So call it btn so that we can give it height and width. Dot btn, width of 50 pixel, whatever was left, right? See, the parent is having a width of 300. To the input element, I gave 250 pixel, and to the button, I gave 50 pixel. So complete 300. Okay. I want to arrange them side by side. Okay. I also want to arrange that image. So don't forget to do that. Give it a class of btn hyphen img. Dot btn hyphen img. I want you to have a width of 20 pixel, very small, like that. Okay, simple. And to the button, I wanted to have a height of 40 pixel. And if you want them side by side, just say again, display inline block into this as well. Display inline block. Okay, and I think because of that border now, it's not coming to the side. So let's remove that border. Border none. And same to the button. Border none. Okay, that button might be having something extra. Let me see what is having. Okay, it's also having padding. I don't want that padding. So button, I don't want to have any padding. I'm removing all the extra things right now. Yes, time flows, but right now not everyone knows how to do all that stuff, right? So that's why I'm just doing it very basically so that they can understand the base CSS around it. And guys, let's also add border to this input, to the div. So border of 1 pixel solid black. Also, let me just give font size 0 for now so that that thing is removed. And here we go. Now they are side by side. Okay. Now let me just give this input a vertical align of top. I just want to show them like it is not actually what actually they think it is. See that, guys? Now they are side by side. Now what you can do is just go to this button. Yes, yes, flex will also work at fam, but we have not learned the flex box yet. Just go to this button and give it a background color of white. And now, and remove the red. And that's how it looks like. A simple input with search inside it, but it's actually not correct. It's actually not that. It's just an illusion, right? So I think whoever asked this question now who you guys now now you know, right? I'm fumbling so much today. Actually, I want to just go up in the chat. Who was asking this? Okay, I can't find you now, but I think you got it. So that's how it looks like. It looks like now that input is having a search icon, but it's not having it. Is it cleared? And guys, if you're enjoying the session, please like it, guys, because I can see around 350 people watching, but we only have 161 likes. That means other half of you have not liked this session or you're not liking this session. So that's a way of how I get to know that you guys are enjoying this session. So please like the video if you have not. Just to summarize, my understanding about the div header aside footer section is mostly for the benefit for the exactly Naveen, exactly for the coder, for the search engines, for the crawlers, exactly. Yep. So guys, I really hope was doing Android, Java, Kotlin, switched to web dev and in love with the CSS is amazing. That's how I started my web journey. So before learning anything, I just learned HTML and CSS, and that's how I actually got comfortable with web. And then after that, I started learning JavaScript, all the other stuff. Okay. So now, guys, before ending the session for today, first of all, I hope you guys enjoyed the session. So please like the video and subscribe if you have not done that, so that we can also grow. And the second thing is, I would like to announce the winner of the quiz from yesterday. So here we go. The winner of the quiz from yesterday is Indira Lakhotia. So congratulations, Indira, for getting 500 rupees Amazon coupon, and also Nisba and Daniel Nazir from getting 150 LU coins and 100 LU coins respectively. Okay. Now, guys, before we end today's session, I would like to also talk about the full stack PGP course and also about tomorrow's session and what we're going to be learning tomorrow. So first thing, guys, what we are doing here is just a 5-day course. We cannot complete everything, but we are still trying to learn all the best possible things that we can. But again, if you're interested, you can join our full stack PGP web development course, where it's a 6 months course. We'll have 100% live sessions. That means every day we have a live session, you have a live lecture with us, okay, separately. And in there we learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node, React, everything literally from scratch till advanced. And we also make 15 plus projects. Few of them are Netflix clone, Instagram clone from scratch. So you learn how to create your own authentication system, you learn how to create your own chatting, how all that stuff online works, how that like comment system, how that movie streaming, all of that works. So if you're interested, you can just go ahead to LetsUpgrade.in and check out our PGP courses, full stack web development course. And there are a few more things. We also have live doubt clearing. So you can basically connect to any trainer at any point of time and you can ask your doubts live. Okay. And the certificate that you get is NSDC and ITM group aggregated. So it's amazing. Okay. And also, once you do it, we provide 100% job placement assistance. But again, you're ready to do anything. Literally, you're ready to create anything. Job is like the secondary part, but you'll be, after completing that course, you'll be becoming a full stack developer ready to create anything like Facebook, your own Twitter, whatever you want. Okay, so if you're interested, please go ahead and check it out. And for all the people asking about assignments and all that, there is a one link in the description of the video. Just click on that link and you'll be redirected to a page where you can join the course. You have to join the course to basically get the certificate. So please join the course there, this 5-day course, and fill your attendance there, and all the assignments and everything is mentioned there as well. To get the certificate, you have to go to that one link and join the course. And whatever lectures you watch, your progress will be marked, and at least 50% progress is required to get the certificate. So please just click on that one link and join the course, this 5-day course, and you can all see all the assignments there. Plus, the Telegram link is also there. So you can just click on the Telegram link and join the Telegram group where we launch the quiz every night. Okay, so you can participate in that quiz and you might be the next one to get the 500 rupees Amazon coupon. Thanks, sir, for the CRUD project in React. It helped me today. I think I'll get the job. Amazing, Utpal. Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations. And I'm really happy that I was able to help you in that. Congratulations, buddy. Many more to come. Okay. So, yep, guys. That's it. Thank you so much, everyone. Tomorrow is Flexboxing. Don't miss it. We're going to be doing a lot of fun. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it today. Tomorrow, guys, is Flexboxing. And if we get time, we'll also talk about positions. And tomorrow, we'll be also holding the project poll. As in, which project do you guys want me like to make? Okay. Okay. That's great. So I think all set. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see all of you tomorrow exactly at 6:30. Flexboxing and positions. Don't miss it. I hope you'll be there. And please share the video, like it, and also tell your friends to join in tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye, everyone. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Bye bye. Good night.